Hey there, drafters. This is Pat, and I'm going to show you how to quickly do create multiple viewports for your advanced drafting projects. So here we go. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure your project is done, and here we got here's our guy right here, all set, all done, ready to go. Okay. The one thing you want to have set up in your sheet layer, okay, you want to have, so we want to get over to the sheet layer, so we can click here and click on, you should have sheet layer 1 already there. Vectorworks provides that for you, and your sheet layer will be empty. What you need to do is open up your template file, copy the border and title block out of the template file, and then paste it into the sheet layer. Okay, when you got that, you can come back and just again make sure that's highlighted, and then we'll come back to design layer and we're ready to go. So what we'll do to create multiple viewports is we come up to View, Create Multiple Viewports, and now in this project we have a front, top, right side, and isometric, and we can select which we want to have. I always leave it on third angle projection, and then let's come up to viewport scale. Let's set it for 1 inch, just for the heck of it. We can change it back, or we can change it to whatever we'd like to do. So we'll change it to 1, and now we'll click on OK. And here we go. Here's it created the viewports. You can see top, front, right. They're a little small, and they're not where we wanted them to be. It's really easy to fix. You notice that it made a sheet layer 2. So what we're going to do is we just have we'll select our four viewports, and we'll come up to the object info palette and we'll change it over to sheet layer 1. And now we can just come sheet layer 1, and here we are. So now we just need to resize these viewports. So I'm going to stick the isometric up in the corner. And these viewports, I think, let's try 1 inch is small. Let's try 3 inch. That looks good. And now let's try and resize our one viewport, our isometric viewport. We'll do 3 inch scale. Here we go. 3 inch scale. All right. All right. Now what we can do is we want to tell Vectorworks how we want to render each one of these drawings. So the isometric we're going to render in, right now it's not going to have much, but what I do for my background render is I set that up to OpenGL, and then the foreground render to hidden line. Okay, it doesn't do anything yet. You notice that there is a red line around the viewport. That means that the viewport needs to be updated. So if it's selected, we can come up and update. And okay, I already have a texture on mine, so you'll texture yours later in the project. These guys here, what we need to do is we want to make them all render in dashed hidden line. So we're going to do background render, dashed hidden line, and now we have them all selected. We can come here and we can click on update, or we can come up to view and update all viewports, or update selected viewports. We'll just update all viewports. What the heck? So here's our viewports rendered, and you can see the holes that come through. Those are the dashed hidden lines. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move these around just a little bit. We can give these a little more space. Now I'm holding down the shift key, so it locks into a place. So now we can start dimensioning, and I'm not going to go through and show you how to dimension the whole thing, but now, I don't know if you remember, but I talked about this in class, but I'm just going to start dimensioning, and you notice that this is 3 3/8 inches. Now, if you look at the project, the printed out project, that's not right. And if you remember a little bit more, you probably remember saying that you need to double click, and all of the dimensions need to be placed inside of the viewport. So I'm gonna double click on it, and what it's probably going to do for you is it's going to ask a question. It's going to say, hey, do you want to edit the annotations, or do you want to edit the viewport crop? And you're going to want to edit annotations. In fact, you can set it so every time you double click on it, it will edit the annotations. So now, the first time we did it, it was 3 3/8. Now this should be the right dimension. Yeah, that's right. So now you can come along and you can, if you want, you can get out. And again, the nice thing is all the dimensions kind of ride along with the viewport. But again, you want to make sure you keep everything in line. So that is it. That's as complicated as it gets for making multiple viewports. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.